This is a story of how my college paid for 17 cities, 8 countries, 5 months, 4 classes, and 1 research. 17 cities, 8 countries in 5 months, taking 4 classes, and doing 1 research. My entire exciting, probably the best experience of my undergrad, and I got to travel around Asia for 5 months straight. I posted this video on TikTok and woke up to a whiplash of questions and comments within about 5 hours. Then I posted a very long video on TikTok explaining the process and how I went about it and how I did it. And TikTok removed the sound because TikTok is TikTok. So actually I figured this is a better and more detailed version of exactly how it happened. It's also easier for you to let me know if you like this type of content by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, so that I'll know exactly what type of content you like to see. So thank you. Every single support is very much appreciated. Oh yes, I'm on a relax, refresh, recover, alone, never lonely staycation. So I hope you don't mind if I relax, refresh, and recover with minimum effort and get my maximum enjoyment while I explain the process to you. Is that okay with you? Cool. Thank you very much. So what happened was, it all started in my junior year of high school. I went to a very rundown high school in New York City, and my mentor had told me that I should definitely try to study abroad. I didn't know what study abroad was. I had $202 to my name from the checks I was getting as a student body president, and my parents were already very vocal about not supporting me if I went to a school outside New York City. So this meant that I could not get a scholarship. I was qualified to get a scholarship based on my grades, but I always got to the finalist stage of every scholarship application, but I never got the scholarship because the finalist stage always requires interviews from your parents, signatures from your parents, documents, and all these things that my parents were not going to do because, again, if they did that, then I was going to get money and leave the city. But she is not a quitter. I am not a quitter. I don't quit. If I want something, I am going to get it by the grace of God. Thank you, Jesus. So my plan was simple: apply to only top 30 universities in the country, except Harvard, Stanford, and Yale, because those were my top picks for law school, and I really didn't want to go to the same school for undergrad and grad school. I really wanted to diversify my experience, okay? Plan B, pick the school with the largest endowment funds, but higher percentage of upper middle class to upper class students, meaning they would have an influx of hopeful cash sitting around, because rich kids might need a lot of things, but rich kids do not need financial aid, which is where I would step in. The third part of my 3-step plan, be direct about my financial status from the jump. So I applied, I got into a decent amount of really good schools, a couple of Ivy Leagues here and there, a couple of baby leagues here and there, and I boiled it down to 2 schools, Tufts University and the University of Pennsylvania. After interviewing a lot of students from both Tufts and UPenn, I picked Tufts University because of a couple of reasons. 1, less students, which meant more disposable endowment fund for my laundry list of financial needs. 2, less students, which meant less competition for the money in the endowment fund. 3, a very interesting variety of study abroad programs, a closer direct line to the officials in the school that I could tell that I am impoverished. I had $200 to my name. Okay, actually at this point it was down to $43 from all the college day interviews that I had to go on. 4, a very healthy grants-only financial aid package through Tufts University. This is where it got very interesting and where I played my cards right. And this is the hidden life gem of today. Grant is a financial aid that you don't apply for and you don't pay back. For private schools and very rich schools, which are the schools that I applied to and got into, and Tufts University and University of Pennsylvania, it could be a combination of donations from alumni, the actual schools, private nonprofit organizations, or wherever else that schools source money from. There are different grants. I believe there's a Pell Grant. There are other types of grant that you can actually get. And add the school's grant program to the federal government grant that I was getting, which wasn't a lot, but it was still something. I was already looking at a full ride. Most schools, if not all schools, have either their own direct study abroad program or affiliate study abroad program. With some affiliate programs and most affiliate programs within the US, the student is low-key kind of alone. Without a cohort, you're either joining other students from other schools, or you're basically fresh fish with no orientation, no hand-holding. You're there and you figure it out, kind of like a freshman year, but now you're a junior. Difference is that with a school study abroad program, the entire financial aid package that you have at your domestic school transfers over to the study abroad program that you're going into. typically. Again, there's always nuances with different schools, but this is typically how it works with most schools. Some schools, like mine, also plan events, trips, birthdays, orientations, monthly dinners for their own students, separate from other students on study abroad. I decided to stick to the school's direct programs, which meant that my financial aid package would transfer directly to the university abroad, and all my credits abroad would transfer right back to my school. So it boiled down to 2 locations, London and Hong Kong. 2 very expensive cities for a very poor kid. If I did my math correctly, if my financial aid package transferred completely, it should be enough to cover tuition. But I still needed cash for my passport, flights to even get there, and to buy a freaking suitcase. I came to college with a broken suitcase, okay? I couldn't take a broken suitcase across the world. And I also knew that I needed some extra cash in case I wanted to travel. I wasn't traveling across the world to sit in a dorm, okay? I knew for a fact that I wanted to travel as much as I could, so I needed some extra cash, which was where my next plan came into play. 3 people had the keys to me possibly even getting a cent more than what I was already getting from the school's very generous financial aid package. My financial aid advisor, my dean, and my major advisor. Every school has every single one of these 3. You have your financial aid advisor, you have your dean, and you have your advisor for your major. I don't know what people call them, but the person that's in charge of signing off that you are taking the credits that you need to graduate for your major. Rewind to my first week as a freshman, I sat in the financial aid office for over an hour trying to change my financial aid officer to someone with some power. I needed someone who had been there long enough to know about the grant system, someone who also had been there enough to advocate if I needed extra money, and I met with her at least twice a semester from the day I wheeled my broken suitcase to my freshman dorm till now. So my plan was this: show face at least twice a semester, because I don't know when I'm going to need this person. From all the office hours with all 3 of them, I knew that as long as my GPA stayed above 3.5, I was still in good standing with my major advisor for a pretty good recommendation letter, which would boost any talk for money. As long as I stayed off probation of any kind, solid GPA, and had an academic game plan of which classes I needed to take abroad and how they would apply to my political science and finance degrees, my dean was game to talk money. So when sophomore spring semester came, my dean got me into a program to pay for my flights and passport, because I didn't have a passport. I didn't have an American passport. Oh, now that I think about it, I really was poor. So yeah, very that. My dean got me into this grant list where they paid for the passport and also flights. And my financial aid advisor was able to work some magic that increased my grant package considerably. And my major advisor was very helpful in helping me choose the perfect location and the perfect program, Hong Kong. Because great food, great culture for a New Yorker who was semi-lost but wanted to travel a lot. I can get by on English and patience, just point and you'll be fine. And a really great politics program. I applied to the program, and typically with study abroad programs, the application process is not extreme. As long as you have the money to go and you're in good academic standing, no probation, no issues, and you have a really good recommendation letter, you should be fine. I was coming in at around $5,000 a month for study abroad in cash. I'm very proud of it. That's just studying abroad part. I was in Hong Kong, my very first time outside, without any parental influence or me, Jesus, Sparkles, in a new and excellent school. I was only there for 1 semester, so the rules were very simple. Drop any and every class that even looks remotely consuming or required an elaborate in-person final at the end of the semester, because the real classroom during study abroad is outside, in the city, in the country, and definitely not in the school. Instead of struggling with Cantonese in a classroom, I'd rather go to the night markets, the food stalls, and rough it up there till I learned Ngoi Sai by pointing and patience. That would help me learn the culture and the language faster than sitting in a classroom and struggling. I did not sit on a plane for 16 hours or however many hours it was just to sit in a classroom. I came to live in Asia. What's up, Snapchat? It's your boy Rocky G. What it do? Where we at right now? Where we at? Tell them.
Forbidden City in Beijing.
Forbidden City. Yeah, we're in Beijing. From dim sum nights to skewer nights in Wanchai to the streets of LKF and dumplings on the hills of Pokfulam, these were the places where I met and strengthened some of my best friendships still today. We'd go out on Wednesday, join a group chat, and plan a last minute trip to somewhere within 2 weeks.
It's 2 a.m. and you're about to hike up a volcano. Say hi, guys. I don't know. Everyone's tired of shit.
Because most of my classes were heavily research based or a lot of reading, I could pretty much take my classes anywhere or just complete my assignments anywhere and send it in. Every month I was in a different country or a different city, from eating the best foods of my life in India for 2 weeks to hiking at 3 a.m. in Bali, to eating the best dessert in Beijing, to blackouts in Boracay, to Malaysia, to tasting OG boba tea in Taiwan and almost killing myself by eating the national dessert, pineapple cake, but it was fine, I survived. To bouncing around Thailand and staring in awe at Koh Phi Phi and getting the most intense massage of my life in Krabi, to parasailing in Philippines, to eating at the night markets and just eating my entire life away and living my best life in Hong Kong while talking in broken Cantonese and eating with people I probably will never see again, and some people who have become integral to my life. I learned more from my research classes outside the stunning Hong Kong University and Tufts University than I did in all the 10 in-person classes I actually attended. I loved every single day that I spent in Asia, and I can't wait to go back because there really is nowhere like it. But I have zero interest in going to either Hong Kong University or Tufts University again as a student. They were both great schools, but the best lessons were outside. That one travel experience changed my life, and now I still get paid to travel and eat, and my life is basically an everyday study abroad. And that's because that experience showed me what was possible around the world when you're direct and bold. So if you're thinking about it, do your research, choose your programs wisely, choose your classes carefully, know who's in charge at your local university, and let them know you. Show up and be direct from day one. Pick a fun and lively city. Somewhere exciting, fun, wherever you want to go. Just go somewhere, please, because there is an endowment fund with your name on it. If you like this, please like, comment, subscribe so I can know that you enjoy this and I can provide more behind the scenes hidden gems of how I travel and where I go. Thank you so much for hanging with me today. I don't have anything to cheers you with. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna cheers you with this plant. Okay, imagine this is a lovely beverage or a glass of refreshing water. Cheers.